Okay, and welcome to More Than Just a Podcast. He needs no introduction. It's Julian Dix. Welcome, Julian.
Thank you.
I looked up at Wikipedia because I haven't got a very good memory. 159 appearances and 29 goals. Is that right?
For West Ham?
For West Ham, yeah.
No, I think it's a lot more than that.
A lot more than that. Okay,
Yeah.
so we need to correct Wikipedia, obviously. But I would say with that record, you're probably scoring more than a lot of our strikers at the moment.
At the moment, yeah, obviously they're struggling to score. But you need that your whole team to score goals. They need to weigh in with goals. So it's obviously a concern for Sam that the strikers are not scoring.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll sort that out in the transfer window. So I know you were at the game yesterday watching Nottingham Forest. I think you were commentating and you were on the BBC Football League show. What's the view of the season so far? What's your prognosis?
Well, obviously they're doing very well because they're top of the table. But I think as a team they've got more to offer. They ain't played particularly well in the games I've watched, but football's about getting results, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, so on that, obviously Big Sam, I think on Soccer Saturday, when he was asked, why aren't you playing the West Ham way, and he said, well, if West Ham way is passing 4 times and then falling over, or I think he said on the Football League show that we haven't been playing the West Ham way for a long time, and if it's losing, then no, he's not playing the West Ham way. What's your view on playing the West Ham way, and how long has it been since we've played the West Ham way?
Well, I mean, it's been a while. I mean, we have, like, the team has struggled for a number of years. And, like I say, football is about getting results. Now, if it's the way Sam wants to play and he's getting results, then for me, that's fine. Because I'd rather play the way Sam's playing and win games than playing the West Ham way and losing.
Yeah,
so,
I'm
for me,
sure
I'm a person who wants to win games.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of us would agree with that. So what's your prediction? Where do you think we'll finish at the end of the season?
Well, I think we get promoted. Hopefully we get promoted as champions, which would be nice. But yeah, I think obviously the ultimate aim is to get promoted. I mean, for me, the squad is good enough to get promoted out of that league. I know obviously Sam wants to bring in 2 or 3 players in the window, so hopefully he can do that and strengthen the squad. Good.
So you mentioned, firepower is not that great. Our last 2 wins have come from Mark Noble penalties.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see come in the transfer window? Any names?
I like Maynard, and obviously you got Rhodes, but obviously they're touting him at, I don't know, 6-7 million. I mean, he's had a good season for Huddersfield. Is he worth that? I'm not so sure. But I think with the way West Ham are, they're obviously looking to get promoted, so you need players that can play in the Premiership, not just in the Championship.
Yeah, it's been rumoured that Billy Sharp, we might go back in for Billy Sharp, since it's fallen down with his move to Leicester. You fancy Billy Sharp?
Again, is whether he can do it in the Premiership, and so I haven't seen enough of him really to comment on it. Yeah, he's had a good season again, but from the Championship to the Premiership, I mean, it's a massive step, and you don't want to go into the Premiership and be struggling. Obviously, you want to go in there, you want to survive, and survive quite comfortably.
So I mentioned earlier, we saw you on the Football League show as a fan, and I know you were commentating a number of games. How many games do you get to as a fan nowadays to West Ham?
I go to as many as I can. Obviously, you got your family as well, so I'd say I'll go to as many. Yeah, I'll go to as many as I can. It's not as many as I'd like to go, but obviously you got other commitments.
So here's one of the questions. This comes from George on Twitter, and it's, who is the better penalty taker, you or Mark Noble?
I was asked that yesterday on Twitter.
How were you?
As I said, at the end of the day, Mark Noble, for me, he's a good penalty taker. I mean, I don't think he's got just one objective. I mean, yesterday he blasted one in one, he side-footed one. I mean, for me, that's not a question that I can really answer, because if I turn around and go, me, then people go, being big-headed. So at the end of the day, you obviously over your career, you look and see how many scores, see how many misses.
You look at your record, yeah, fair enough.
Exactly.
So moving on, you were voted Hammer of the Year 4 times, I believe, which was only a feat equalled by Bobby Moore and Billy Bonds.
Which is good company.
Yeah, very good company. Who would you like to see pick up Hammer of the Year on performances so far?
To be perfectly honest, James Tompkins, I think he's done well this season. I watched him last season as well, and I thought he'd done very well. He had a bit of a sticky patch towards the end, but I think he's grown and grown. I think he's a good mainstay at West Ham. He's done well this season. And obviously Mark Noble, who's, for me, he's done well again.
Yeah.
So I think, it could be between them.
He's been our creative force, which has been a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a lot more freedom now under Sam. So, let's say, hopefully, he can pile in with some more goals. Okay,
a couple of questions going back to your days of playing. Again, one from Twitter. Who was your toughest opponent on the pitch while wearing a West Ham shirt?
I mean, no one really stands out as the toughest opponent, but as a fullback, you don't like playing against players that are quick as anything. I mean, Franz Carr, Tony Daly, people like that were perfectly honest, catch pigeons. I struggled against them because they were so quick. But like I said, in the first 5 minutes, if you could put them in the stand, then that was always a good thing to do.
Well, a similar question came in for Twitter of who was your best opponent? Who were the ones you knew you had in your pocket?
Well, you didn't really. I mean, football's not like that. Obviously, they were playing against me. They'd know they'd get a tough time, and they'd get a few crunching tackles. But like I said, you didn't think, oh yeah, I've got an easy day today, because football wasn't like that. Yeah, well, you mentioned football's changed. I mean, one of the last questions came in was about Ilunga. You know, Ilunga has one good season. He's been loaned out, although we're paying the majority of his wages. He's sitting it out. What's your view on the modern game where, you know, players are on big money, big contract, it doesn't work out, and they sit out their contracts? Well, the thing is, you can't blame them. At the end of the day, if somebody offers them 30 grand a week, 40 grand a week, of course they're going to take it. Now, unless they get the same offer somewhere else, then why should they leave? I mean, you have to blame the people who's given them that money. So moving a little bit more to what you've been up to lately, you managed Grays Athletic, if I can say, up to May. Obviously, John Moncur and Andy Swallow there on the board. Yeah. You left in May, it says, by mutual consent. Yeah. Good experience? Yeah, very much so. Very much so. I enjoyed my time there. Obviously, I know John from my West Ham days, and I got on well with Andy Swallow as well. But it was the right time for me to leave. Obviously, I have my own reasons why I left. But yeah, I mean, a great experience for me. Superb. Good. So, you know, the question that goes on from there, what's next for you then? Just looking really for another job, either management or coaching. And like I said, it's just, you have to start at non-league or maybe conference, because at the end of the day, you need to gain experience, and that's where you get your experience from. The last question, which I know you get asked the most, and I'm sure you'll have a stock answer for it, is will we ever see you back at West Ham in some capacity? I hope so. I mean, like I said, I'd walk there. I'd walk on my hands and knees to West Ham, but that's obviously down to the manager and the two chairmen. So, but I'd like to think so, yeah, because like I said, I spent 11 fantastic years there, and one day I'd like to go back there, yeah. Yeah, and how's your relationship with Sam Allardyce and Sullivan and Gold? Do you get to meet them when you go up and commentate in the press box? Yeah, I met Sam yesterday. Had a little chat with Sam. I mean, like, again, I've known him through my football career. He's a really, really nice bloke. I mean, I like David Gold and I like David Sullivan. I speak to David Sullivan quite a bit. I think they've got the the best interest of the club at heart, and I think they'll do well for West Ham.
All right, well, thanks for asking our questions and being our guest on More Than Just a Podcast, and hopefully we can have you back soon one day. Thanks, Julian.
I hope so.